Good morning, friends. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Ananya Shah, and today I'm going to share my experience while reading Nancy Drew's series Part 1 Secret of the Old Clock. This book is amazing, and this book is full of suspense and thrilling actions, and this book is the most popular mystery books for young readers. So let me share my experience with you. Okay, so while reading the book The Secret of the Old Clock, for me was very interesting. I felt that I too was solving mystery with Nancy. In the first chapter, Nancy was rescuing a little girl named Judy, and Judy's aunt told Nancy about their difficulties they faced in giving education and curriculum activities to Judy. Nancy Drew also got to know that there was a property will of Josiah Crawley, and Judy's aunt, Miss Mary and Edna Turners, told Nancy that Josiah was a cousin and he used to give us money and help us. He came us to visit, but a couple of months ago he died. He had a big property and he wanted to share all his property among his relatives. He wanted to make a will, but he didn't. And Nancy worked on this mystery. She met Josiah Crawley's relatives like Fred, Williams, the who were sisters, Abby Rowan, etc. When she met who were sisters, she got to know that Alison sang very sweetly. Alison sang very sweetly, and when Nancy asked, "Why don't you go to singing classes?" So Alison said that I don't have so much of money. I don't have so much of money so that I can pay for the singing classes. Then Nancy asked Alison and Alison's sister Grace, "Do you know anything about Josiah Crawley and did he made and later will a later will?" So Grace and Alison said, "We don't know that Josiah, our cousin, had made any will, but he said that Alison, I should pay for your singing classes so that you can sing nicely and your voice is very sweet." So this much he said to us. Then he went with toe firms. He made a house with toe firms, and then after living there he didn't came us to visit, and he didn't talked about anything for the singing classes and or the well, etc. Then Nancy got to know that Josiah had made a will, had made a will, but she did not had so much of clue. She did not have so much of clue, so that she was sure that he had made the will. But he got to know that yes, Josiah had promised his relatives to give his estate, some of his estate property, but he gave all his estate to toe firms, and they were not kind with Josiah before he died. And toe firms were not kind with anybody. And when they heard that Joshua is going to share his property among their relatives, so they made a fake will in which they wrote that Mr. Joshua Crawley is sharing all his giving all his estate to Tophams. Mm, and through this fake will, they got all Josiah's property. But Nancy wanted to found the later will of Josiah to help his relatives who were not so rich and wanted money. Carson Drew was a famous lawyer in River Heights, and he was the father of Nancy Drew. They both wanted to find another well, and Carson Drew helped his daughter. And Nancy learned a detective job from her father, seeing his father how he works and all. Then, to find the will and the clues, she put her life in danger. She was kidnapped by robbers who locked Nancy in closet, but she came out. But the second time, she was locked in a van for finding the old clock. From the old clock, she got a old notebook which was written by Josiah for the later will's clue, and this clue was told by Abby Rowan. Then the other day she went to the bank with his father to find the will. At last she found the later will of Josiah Crawley, and she and her father told this founding of the will with a small party. But the Topham family was not happy with this and went to the court for fight. But at last, Carson Drew and Nancy Drew only won. Then the other day, Nancy went to tell this good news to Abby Rowan, Fred and Williams, who were sisters, and Judy and her aunt, about the later will, that they have won and you will get your share very soon. All were happy with the good news. After that, they all got their own share of the Josiah Crawley. And this was my experience of the Secret of the Old Clock book. Now I'm going to tell my analysis. The first two chapters were boring for me, but slowly I got to know the story, and then I had fun in reading this whole book. I didn't like the behavior of Topham family. They were not kind with everybody. They thought that they had attitude, but I love the behavior and kindness of Nancy Drew, how she helped everyone and loved the little Judy. Now there are some suggestions from my side. This book can change your English vocabulary, etc. I have learned many new words while reading this book, like we can say property estate also, and we can say detective a salute. And I promise you that this book is wonderful and it will change your imagination and you will realize that. Please read this book, this Nancy Drew series. I have read the part 1 and I'm going to soon share the review of part 2 also. And if you want to buy this book, not right now, after the coronavirus is finished, I'm going to give the link in the description box. Until that, stay safe and bye bye.